speaking of things that are scary and strange, we've got Dragonov, not them, the scary thing, the thing they're asking about. How do you all personally address burnout? The oft-afflicted thing many a online influencer has to deal with on their influencing journey. Burnout. How do we address it? How do you avoid it? How do you deal with this ever-encroaching feeling of...
Well, given that I had a burnout earlier this year, actually, it was about a year ago at this time, actually. About a year ago, I had a pretty rough burnout from creative stuff. I was doing like 5 or how many visual novels per week. I was doing multiple ones, and like I think I had like 8, 9, 10 series at the time. That's where I learned, hey, set your expectations for your fans. Like I was just out of school. I was just starting to work, and it was just a lot to catch up on, a lot to do all around. Just being able to set that limit and just let people know you're human and that you're doing what you do best, or doing what you want to do is very key to make sure that you're not overexerting yourself, because it's easy to stretch yourself. Don't give yourself any limits. That's been the tough one that I had to learn the hard way. And yeah, any other advice for the burnouts other than just limiting what you do is just treating yourself to what you like from time to time with these novels, like, or whatever you're streaming, like whatever thing you like to stream or play or do as a video. Add some of those in between, sure, even if they're not the biggest videos or whatnot. I do my American Truck Sim stuff. I know that's not really a big lure for people when I go on Twitch and whatnot, but it's like things like that where it's just like stuff that rejuvenates you, that, to show, hey, I'm doing okay. And even if you're like, okay, maybe I don't want to do it that week, like just you need to set something that is a little more, I don't know, loose, I'd say, per se, while you have in between that your go-to things. But yes, those go-to staple things you have shouldn't be too many, because I had stapled myself to like 7, 8, 9, whatever many things, and now I'm like trying to limit that down to 5 or 4. It's been hard to shrink, but I'm doing my best from time to time. It's just one of those things where you gotta know, hey, if you want to do something from start to finish, you gotta make sure that you keep the room for it and not like add a bunch of stuff every single time. So like once you commit to something, just go through with it. But if you don't think you're gonna finish it, make it clear that you're dropping it. Like I had to do that a couple of times. I had to, not like burn your bridges, but it was like, there's a phrase for that where it's like something your babies or whatever, where it's kill like, kill your darlings. And I had to do that a couple of times with like After Class was like the first one I really did that with. What are some other more recent ones? I remember obviously doing Far Beyond the World, but some real darlings for me with that I had to take off were Cilia was one that I had to take off. But there were a couple at the time I was like, man, do I really want to take those off? And I still even debate sometimes, like, should I take off some more for my sake? And it's a constant ongoing thing. Just know that, because otherwise, if you just keep yourself in the same ways, you'll exert yourself too much.
Totally agree.
A little too much personal anecdotes on that one. But yeah, just with something where I'm like, I definitely would give that out there. Don't have to make a video on it now. Well, just kidding. I'll just probably rant about it whenever.
Yeah. How about you, Blaidd? What do you do to adjust burnout?
Again, I try to set a certain number of things to do every month. If anyone's really paying attention to the channel, you might have noticed past couple of months, pretty much weekends, I've been recording videos, putting them out. Haven't done any midweek videos for a while, because this is the busiest time for me in work, and I've also been dealing with other stuff going on. And I can't do this. I need to slow down, just take my weekends, record, and hopefully January I can do the extra video now and again. And also sometimes just say, you know what? No, I am not going to do a video this week. I'm just going to take some time off. I'll let people know. But if you really have to, for sickness or just, no, I need a break, just let yourself do it. I know sometimes it's difficult, especially when you have patrons and people are supporting your channels. Maybe I shouldn't because they're paying. No, just let them know you're taking just a 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever you need. But you have to think of yourself first and just, how am I feeling? Do I really want to do this today? Can I put it off till tomorrow? Can I just not do anything? And yet, you're more important than anything else with this. It's hard for us to admit that. I think we always, oh yeah, this is important. We have to do this. People are waiting for this. No, sometimes you have to step back and say, no, I matter. And just not do anything, do something short. My latest live video is shorter than most. Partly because it ended on a good scene to have a cliffhanger on, but also I was actually suffering from some mild flu or something when I was doing it. I thought, yeah, this is really tough to get through and I'm not going to do a good job after this. So, okay, let's just do 40 minutes and we are done. So, yeah, it is hard, I think, to step back and let yourself be human or wolf or panda, whatever you happen to be. But just that, yeah, I can't do everything. Just step back and remember what else is going on in your life as well. This isn't your life for any of us. Lots of other things going on. Some of us are working full time. Others are looking for work. Others are wondering what's going to be happening next week for them. Yeah, if you need to stop and think, no, I need my time, just let yourself do that always. And if you feel you're forcing yourself, maybe you should not be doing that. It's the best I can say anyway.
Nice. Fallenwolf.
I still feel like I'm trying to get to a point where I can find this kind of balance, because I feel like for me, it's either I'm trying too hard and putting all my energy into making content, or I'm not putting any energy into making content. So I think for me, I'm still kind of trying to find a proper balance. And I also think I can say I think a big thing for people, in regards to making content that's been really difficult for me has been understanding that there's nothing wrong with the way I make my content. I know for a while I was struggling really hard. I was kind of having like an identity crisis almost, when it came to making content, because like I would make something and I'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, I like, because for a while I was trying to kind of like gently nudge my content to appear more like other people's content. And I think that ended up being much worse for me, because then afterwards I felt bad because, one, it wasn't doing as good as I was expecting it to, copying somebody else. And two, just in general, I felt bad because I'm like, oh, like I'm not even doing my own thing now. Now I'm just like, I'm not even having fun with this anymore, because I'm not doing what I want to do. So I feel like the biggest thing for me has just been, I think biggest thing also has just been getting a proper schedule. For me, I know it's very, very difficult because I work a full-time job and it's so hard. I don't get it. I don't get how some people manage to do it. I manage to, make videos and have full-time jobs. I don't get it. I can't do it. So the biggest thing for me has been just trying to find a proper time management so I can get videos out in a timely manner. Because I don't want people to wait 2-3 weeks per video. That's annoying and it's frustrating, and I understand. And I'm trying to get myself to a point where I can just get a video at least once a week. So time management and trying to enjoy my content for having my own spark in it, and not trying to make it be something that it's not.
Marshmallow Bears.
Yeah, I also struggle with this. Sometimes I feel like I'm sitting over here taking notes from all of you guys, Because I'm like, oh, how do you avoid burnout? God, I don't know. I feel like I run straight into a wall with it. But our stream team manager has been making us all do schedules. And so I've been making schedules and making sure that I have at least a couple set days off where I'm not doing anything. Because it might seem silly, but when you're doing content creation, that is your job. And if you're constantly pushing yourself to make content every single day, you're going to get tired of it. And it's just like I need days off where I'm not doing anything, where I can just lie there and watch TikToks all day if I need to, even though every single atom of my body is screaming at me, saying, you're not doing anything. Be productive. Be productive. You're being lazy. Be productive. Because I've been where I've been streaming every day. I'm guest starring in someone's stream. Like, I'd go from my stream to someone else's stream. And it's just like I have to constantly be doing this. And it would come to a point where I just hate doing this. And it's like hitting that go live button is a monumental task where I'm just sitting there like, do I really want to do this? God, this is awful. And it's just like, I hate that feeling. And there have been points where I just had to take a week or two off to get away and recombobulate my thinking. And I really think just this making sure I have at least 1 or 2 days off a week has been helping me at least. Just have time for yourself, you know. So yeah. Also, after a certain point of the day, just not answering work emails and like it's just like if someone comes to me and it's like, hey, stream idea, and I'm like, sorry. I just say to myself, sorry, it's past 9 p.m. I will get to you tomorrow.
I had a work situation like that where somebody, like, I messaged them like towards the other work day. I'm like, okay, this is my thing, info, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, thanks. Then at 5 a.m. the next day, they just say, good morning. Nothing else. And I'm like, this is not my time to work.
Creepy.
Yeah. I'm like, who does? I never seen anybody do this. And it wasn't even like I had the job yet. It was like to possibly interview. I'm like, I don't even work for you. What the heck?
That's weird. I don't think that's weird.
I may have ghosted them, but
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's kind of how you know, like, even if you're not just doing it for yourself, but yeah, to know that you're not putting yourself around people that push too hard.
Yeah. I have found for me that in addition to a lot of the things that everyone else has already said, so that I just echoing their sentiments, in addition to that, I find that I work best when I am wanting to do it. And especially if it's, you know, this creative atmosphere, content creation, if you're working because you are forcing yourself to do it, that builds a resentment, or that builds a sense of obligation, or that builds a sense of doing it for the task of it, which builds up the lack of enjoyment, or the sense of wanting to get away from it, which results in the burnout for me as well, at least. And in addition, I find that my best work comes from when I'm enjoying what I'm doing anyway. When I want to do what I am doing, I enjoy it the longest and I enjoy it the most, and I do my best. That's not always an option. Obviously, there are limitations to that. given financial obligations, given time limits, circumstances, various other circumstances. But the best thing in circumstances where you still have to do the thing is to try to find the thing in those moments where you can still enjoy it for you. Even in moments where you're having to do things you do not want to do, try to do something in that is still for you or that you enjoy. I always tried to find something at a job where I found just a little thing about it that I really liked. I don't know, it's just some small thing. Like when I was a barista, my first job was a barista at a Starbucks cafe. It wasn't a Starbucks, but Barnes & Noble cafe. Everyone thinks it's Starbucks, but it's not, just because they serve Starbucks stuff. My favorite thing there was when I had to go from one side of the bar to the other, because it was really slick and I could do this like little spin thing, and I really enjoyed that small moment. Hated the job, hated it, but when I could do those little moments, I felt like I was dancing, and I just could ignore the fact that I hated what I was doing or hated that I had to be there. And that made the world of difference to me. On some days, it saved me. And if you're translating that into a creative atmosphere, if you're feeling like you have to do some content creation, find something to take solace in. Find something to make it for you as much as you can, and take solace in that. That's my advice.